Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It is still during quarantine when I'm making this video, but I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to post it. I've technically finished AS. My first year of A-levels is technically over. So here's a review. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Jude and I'm from Northern Ireland. I'm a student. I'm technically going into my final year of school to do my A-levels. I study chemistry, biology, maths and further maths. I'm a nerd. Yeah, that's the situation. So, how did I find AS? I'm kind of going to go through everything. It's kind of like one of the videos I made earlier, which was like 2 weeks into sixth form, and I'm like, I'm done. What? I'm done my first year. Like, what is this? Okay, so I remember I can actually remember the start very clearly. I can remember going in with my glasses on because I started wearing glasses over a year now officially. I went in with my glasses on. We found out our slightly adapted form classes, registration classes, collect groups, whatever they're called in your school. And we then had our reassembly where we were told, like, welcome to sixth form, blah, 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 blah. We were given our timetables. I was so excited. I think I do have my timetable right here. I actually really enjoyed the timetable. We'll come on to that later. I was very excited to start lower sixth, and I was very interested to start lower sixth to see what life was like higher up in the school, see what life's like when teachers can respect you more, and all that kind of stuff. What I didn't expect was the tiredness, the sickness, like the emotional roller coaster the year was. But what I didn't expect was how much I actually enjoyed this year. New friendships I made, things like that I never expected would have happened going into this year. So that's interesting. But let's start. You know what? Yeah, let's start with the timetable. So, obviously, getting this in the first day and sticking with it for the entire year, like, right, getting into routine, I had it learned in a couple of weeks because it wasn't too hard, considering I only do have four like exam classes. Okay. So chemistry starts today, Mondays and Tuesdays, which actually I really liked. Starting your week with chemistry, and I like chemistry. Starting Tuesday, it feels like deja vu, but like it's a different day because we had assembly, and so it's like you have your Monday chemistry where it's just like, let's start the week well, let's do lots of work. Then you have your Tuesday chemistry, which is like, let's get work done. And then it comes to Thursday and Friday, which are later on the day, and it's like we can kind of chill down, chill a little bit, but we're still going. And yeah, chemistry was actually great this year. I really enjoyed a lot of it. Some of it I found extremely boring. Um, Kind of upset we didn't get to do the chemistry exam, not gonna lie. I will be doing past papers. Um, but yeah, chemistry, loved. I actually loved chemistry. Like, it's a great subject. Okay, then we'll go into further maths next, I suppose. I'm not really talking about the timetable, more just talking about my classes. About the timetable, I loved it. It was actually really quite a nice timetable. Okay, we'll go into further maths. I didn't need this in. Further maths. Whew, I was so excited to start further maths A level. Obviously, doing GCSE further maths, you're like, oh, look, I'm the cool guys. We're doing further maths, which is like hard maths. And then you get to A level, and further maths GCSE is A level maths, like your AS. Then further maths was like, what am I doing? I had three different teachers, 4 periods, 2 periods a week. So 2 hours of one class and then an hour each of the other two. I had designated crying periods for mechanics, stressing out on Wednesday, Thursday nights over further maths homeworks. Pure statistics was a mess. It took me quite a while to settle into the swing of further maths, like quite a while. Um, it's the level of maths is very different. It is obviously a lot harder than ordinary maths, and you go a lot faster to cover stuff because they're like, well, these are people who actually care and want to learn. And obviously, I did want to learn, but like, I was not prepared. I was not prepared for the mountain of work that was coming my way when I decided to do further maths. Like, oh, um, the crying periods in mechanics eventually stopped. I am going to attempt something slightly different going into this year for mechanics. To hopefully minimize those crying periods because we don't want that. I remember, so basically I had mechanics on a Monday, and on a Monday I would stay in school, usually for an hour, while my sister was at netball, and then we'd go home on the bus together, like a later bus. I remember days, oh, this is emotional, like this is really emotional. I remember days when I would be in the library after coming from quadruple biology. I'm actually getting so emotional thinking about this. And I'd be sitting there, I'd have written biology notes or whatever, and then I'd be sitting there trying to do this maths, trying to do this mechanics, further maths stuff, and I just couldn't. And then it's like, right, time to go home. Amelia's coming out from netball, I'll go home with her now. We were on the bus together. It's like pitch black outside because, you know, this is like, I didn't settle into mechanics. I literally didn't settle into mechanics until December, probably. And so it would be me like on the bus just like freaking out because there was not a lot of time Mondays, especially with my mum who's a maths teacher, because she started teaching at 6:30. I had a piano lesson from 8:15 to 9:15. I would arrive home from that at 9:30, and my mum finished teaching at 9:30 too. But by the time I got home from the bus, it would be like 5:30, and that meant it was like you eat, and then my mum goes to work, and then I work here. I remember like being so stressed about mechanics from work. Now, bearing in mind, I did have the entire week to do this on the Monday night, being so stressed about it. Various Monday nights actually, sitting there being like, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. I don't know how to do this. Can I do it now? Yes. Perseverance wins because after it was a good solid 3 or 4 months, I'd say, until it finally clicked and everything started to get a bit easier. Was that because my level of maths was improving? Probably. Was that also because I gained confidence in mechanics? Probably. Was it also because I practiced more? Yes. Which is why there are new techniques going in for next year's stuff that I am going to be trying out, obviously. What else? Oh, that was a wild ride. And it does make me very emotional thinking back on that now at this point, being like, wow, look how far I've come. Like, it's like, I'm so proud of myself, but I know there's worse coming next year, and it's like, oh wow. I think this is also just lockdown, the fact that I'm just like completely dead, but further maths, it's hard, but it's so rewarding at the same time. Okay, we'll go on to biology. Started out as one of my favourite classes, kind of got worse as the year went on, not gonna lie. Human biology was great, animal biology was not. Ecology, no. Heart, yeah, I was like, heart, yes, yes, yes. And then we got into all the hard stuff and I was like, no. But we stuck with it, finished that. Kind of know it now, hopefully don't need to know for next year. I need to look at the spec about that. But the biggest shock about biology was the fact that you have to write essays and the fact that you have to do the practical write-ups and the account. Getting those in, doing them to standard. I was happy with being kind of a perfectionist. I didn't like handing them in, not having typed them up. I did, because I'm not going to write them out perfectly first time when you've got like 6 pages or whatever, graphs, you know, where you take like 5 attempts to draw your graph. Wasn't a fan of those, but obviously I'm prepared for those next year again, and I know they're coming, so I'm going to be more prepared for that. Also have more time in class the next period, so that's always good. I mean, biology is interesting, but it was like, oh, the plant stuff dragged. I think it was like February time, and it was plant biology in both classes, and it just dragged. Wasn't happy with that. Okay, and then the final subject is obviously maths, which was fine. It's doing further maths. I bore the brunt of the maths sadness with further maths, I'm not gonna lie. Ordinary maths was reasonably fine. Like, reasonably fine. I don't remember finding maths hard at all this year. There was a couple of questions I remember I was like, I don't know how to do this, and then did it. So maths really wasn't as bad. Maths was as easy, not as easy, but was as easy to get into as I thought it was going to be. So I'm fine with that. Maths really wasn't that bad, and I'm happy about that. I'm so grateful that maths wasn't too hard, and that was one subject that was slightly easier for me. I'm exhausted. I'm really tired. But yeah. Wow. Revision. I stepped it up from GCSE, and I'm gonna be stepping it up for next year, hopefully. But with the difference is I'm not gonna have as much revision time in school. I'm gonna have to make more use of the reading time at home. I'm actually probably gonna stick to like a certain number of hours only a night to give myself more balance. I'm also going to have scheduling time for YouTubes and stuff. But I think I need to form a rigid plan next year with revision time after school, because there'd be some days when I would revise hours and hours after school, and some days when I just wouldn't. And I think that getting into a routine would help with that, because it was things like I'd come home on a Monday, you know, first day of school. If mechanics had gone well, I would be pumped to like get the biology notes written, and you know what I mean, get that grind done on a Monday. It was always very nice. By the end of the year, I just didn't feel like that anymore. I was like, ugh. It was also the change of teacher, I suppose, as well, that really threw me off that. And I'm hoping that I don't have too many teacher changes next year during the year, because I started with 2 biology teachers and I finished with 2 biology teachers, neither of which are the same as the 2 I started with. So that was very helpful. Not obviously not the teacher's fault. Like, no, it just happened. But what else? So revision wise, I'm so happy I went for A5 notebooks. I actually have them here, all of them. As well as my academic planner. Wait, let's take this one out. Okay. I started my chemistry, and I remember being like, at the start of all your notes, you're like, I'm gonna make these the neatest things. They're not gonna end up like that, so don't try. Like, you know, they did start out really neat, and they ended up not. So, but I'm happy with the amount of notes. Like, hold on, how many pages was that of chemistry? 129 pages in my first notebook. Obviously these are A5, so they're like, they are half the size of an A4 page. Like, it is half an A4 page. This way, obviously, an A4 page is that. And then I started my other chemistry book, and I didn't number these pages actually, but we're going up on 19, 21, 23, 24 pages, and then add that to the, what was it, 129? I had already lost count. 24, was it? Did we get, I think it was 24, 17, 19, 21, 23, 24, and that was 129. Plus 24, you can tell I'm tired because I cannot do this in my head. 150 pages, approximately. Obviously, I'm not going to work out exactly because there are blank pages in there. But yeah, like 150 pages of notes. Biology, I think, was the same. I had 2 separate teachers, 2 separate classes technically, so I did them in different things. 83 pages in this notebook. And how many in this one? 83, 85. 83, 85, 87, 89, 90. 90 plus 80 is 170. So over 173 pages. More biology than chemistry, but then chemistry can be condensed a lot more, not gonna lie. And this notebook is obviously being used for next year. I have 2 more biology ones because I bought enough. I also have another chemistry one, I think, which makes me really happy. But the amount of notes. I also need to take further maths notes during the year next year, because I didn't do that, and I'm so glad the exams were cancelled for that one reason, because I wouldn't have done further maths notes. Now, not that I need further maths notes necessarily, but they probably would have helped with understanding along the way. Mechanics, crying, periods, yeah. Things I've taken away from this year, we'll go to the final section. things I've taken away from this year. I need to rest more. This is something I've been trying to work on during quarantine, but some days it just hasn't worked. And also the fact that I've been getting less sleep during. In fact, no, I've been getting the same number of hours of sleep during quarantine. My hours have just shifted later, and that makes me more tired. So I need to go to bed earlier. It's not going to happen, but I need to go to bed earlier. I need to get stuff done earlier and then go to bed earlier, because that kind of just needs to happen for my sanity reasons. Yeah, that's the thing. I do need to rest more, which is why I'm going to schedule stuff more to give me time. The plan is I'm not going to do work after the hour 9. I'm going to see if I can prioritize between 8 and 9 for doing YouTube stuff on Wednesdays. Actually, Wednesdays is a lot longer, but on Thursdays and Fridays. Friday I don't want to do work because I ended up doing a lot of work on Fridays this year when I told myself I didn't want to. And I don't know if I'll continue, but there are a lot of things like I need to schedule stuff more because that helps me. I'm not an impromptu person at all. There is no way I could cope with stuff not being scheduled because it just wouldn't work for me. I'd rather it be like, you will do this work now, and if I feel motivated to do extra, good for me. If I don't, you know what, you're gonna stick to it. If I don't have work, good, you fill it with something else or use it productively for something else, like film a YouTube video in that space. It's gonna be hard next year, and I know it's gonna be hard next year, especially after this whole quarantine situation. It's gonna be like, what? When we go back next year. So I'm determined to obviously like make the most of it, because 100% of my grade relies on next year. So yeah, it's basically like, you better do well next year because your grade depends on it. So that's kind of stressful. Obviously I need to fully understand everything as we go along. I need to make my posters as we go along. Did get a bit sloppy with posters when we got to the end, I'm not gonna lie. Stationery haul, I want more Sharpies. Some of them have started to run out. I'm like, was that my second set of Sharpies this year? I'm not entirely sure. It could well have been. But yeah, I want to get more Sharpies. I want to get more pens. I can't wait to go stationery shopping. When all this quarantine's over. But that is definitely all I've got time for today. This is going to be a 20-minute video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see. If you have any ideas. If you have anything you want to see me do. Generally study related. Or Eurovision related, of course. I don't know why Eurovision people will be watching this, but if you are, hi. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all again later.